The first thing Mara Quinn notices isn't the rain. It's the way the man in the alley sits like the weather owes him an apology. She turns the corner at a near run, portfolio hugged to her chest, hair already frizzing from the downpour, shoes slipping on slick pavement. Late, late, late. Her interview at Hartman & Lowe starts in 12 minutes, and she's already burned through every second chance she's ever been given. Rent is 3 weeks past due. Her landlord has graduated from friendly reminder to final notice voicemails with a fake cheerful tone that makes her stomach twist, so she should keep moving. But the man doesn't look like the others. Most people huddled in the narrow back streets downtown are folded inward, shoulders curled, head down, trying to shrink until the city forgets they exist. This man is stretched tall against a brick wall on rain-soaked cardboard that has turned to mush, his spine straight, jaw set, posture unbroken. His clothes are ruined, dark hoodie torn at the seam, jeans soaked through, boots that have seen too many winters. But he holds himself like he belongs to a different world entirely, like he's waiting for someone to come kneel. Mara slows without meaning to. The alley smells like wet garbage and cold stone. Wind whips the rain sideways, needles into her cheeks. Her hands are numb around her portfolio. The man lifts his head, and her breath catches so hard it hurts. His eyes are the strangest color she's ever seen. Amber, but not warm. Amber like old whiskey under a lamp. Amber with flecks of gold that make them look almost lit from inside. Not threatening, not pleading, just aware. Watching her like he's been measuring her steps before she ever arrived. Mara's foot catches on a broken chunk of pavement. She goes down. Portfolio flies. Purse spills. Everything she owns scatters across the wet ground. Wallet, loose change, pens, an old MP3 player held together with tape, her lunch wrapped in foil that immediately starts to soak through. "Oh my God! No, no, no!" she whispers, scrambling on her hands and knees, trying to grab what she can before the rain ruins it all. Then she sees the man's hands move. Her whole body tenses. She expects the worst. A quick snatch of her cash. A hand in her wallet. She wouldn't even blame him. Desperation makes animals out of saints. But he doesn't take anything. He gathers her things with careful precision, like each item is fragile, like her life is a puzzle he refuses to scatter further. He holds her wallet out first, then her pens, then her phone, face down to keep it dry. His fingers are large, knuckles scraped, nails with grime beneath them, but the movement is gentle, controlled. "I believe these are yours," he says. His voice is low, smooth, and too steady for someone shaking in the rain. Mara blinks up at him, stunned. "Thank you," she manages, throat tight. She collects the last of her things, hands trembling, and sees the crumpled bills in her palm. Her bus fare home and the thin margin between "I eat tonight" and "I don't." She shouldn't, but she presses the money into his hand anyway. "For you," she says softly. "Please, get something warm." The way he looks at her then does something sharp inside her chest, like she stepped onto a wire strung between pity and something far worse. "Thank you," he says again, quieter this time, as if the words cost him. Mara nods, already turning, mind screaming at her to run. Interview, rent, survival. Then she sees the dark stain spreading beneath him. At first, she thinks it's just rainwater pooling, shadowed by the brick. Then she leans closer, and the shape resolves into something unmistakable. Blood. Her heart kicks. "You're hurt." He glances down at his side like he's noticing it for the first time. "It's nothing." "It's not nothing." Mara's voice comes out sharper than she expects. The man is pale beneath the stubble. His lips have a faint bluish tinge that has nothing to do with the cold. Rain runs off his hair in dark rivulets, and still he sits there like a statue refusing to crack. "You need a doctor." He gives her a look that says doctor is a word meant for other people. Mara swallows. Interview, money, her life, but she can't make herself walk away. "Come with me," she blurts, reaching out a hand. "I can clean it, bandage it properly. Just come out of the rain." His gaze locks on her hand. A long pause stretches, filled only by rainfall and distant traffic. Something flickers across his face. Wariness, confusion, and for the first time, a shadow of fear. "My name is Mara," she adds quickly, attempting a smile that doesn't quite land. "What's yours?" He opens his mouth, stops. His amber eyes sharpen, then soften like he's staring into an empty room inside his head. "I can't remember," he murmurs. Mara's brow furrows. "You can't remember your name?" He shakes his head once, small. "Or how I got here, or anything before." The words hang between them like a dropped glass. Shock? Concussion? Blood loss? Mara's instincts scream questions. But something about the way he says it, flat, quiet, honest, stops her from interrogating him in the rain. "It's okay," she says. "Gentler now. We'll figure it out later. Right now you need to not bleed out in an alley." She keeps her hand out. After another beat, he takes it. His fingers are cold. Too cold. The contact sends a jolt up her arm like static. He pulls himself upright with controlled effort that doesn't match the way his body sways for half a second, like the ground is tilting. "There's a pharmacy around the corner," Mara says, guiding him out. "We'll get supplies." The pharmacist, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a no-nonsense bun, takes one look at the soaked man and the faint red seeping through his shirt and immediately starts pulling items off shelves. "Antiseptic, gauze, tape, waterproof pads," she mutters. "And he needs this cleaned properly. Infection's fast in this weather." Mara nods, eyes on the growing pile, stomach tightening. The register total flashes, $43.12. Mara opens her wallet, counts, $18. Heat crawls up her neck. I don't have enough." The pharmacist's expression softens. "Take the antiseptic and the bandages. That'll do for now." 12. Relief floods Mara so hard she almost sways. Outside, the man leans against the pharmacy wall, even paler, even quieter, but still composed like a king stripped of his crown. "My apartment's a few blocks," Mara says, clutching the bag. "It's warm, dry. I've got peroxide and clean cloths." He looks at her like he's weighing the concept of trust with a scale he's never used. "It's okay," she insists. "You're hurt. I'm offering help. That's what people do." His jaw tightens, like the sentence is new to him. Then he nods once. A sharp, grateful motion. Thunder rolls overhead, the kind that rattles old windows and makes the city feel smaller. Mara leads him toward her building with the rain chasing at their backs, and with every step she feels the irrational certainty growing that she just changed something she can't unchange. Mara's building looks tired in the rain. 3 stories of peeling paint, an entryway that sticks when the air is humid, and a stairwell that smells like old carpet and boiled vegetables. The kind of place you rent when temporary becomes a lifestyle. She's hyper-aware of the man behind her as they climb, not just because he's tall, broad-shouldered, and moving with a quiet economy that doesn't match his ragged clothing, but because he watches everything. The hallway corners, the mailboxes, the door hinges, like he's cataloging an environment for threats. On the second-floor landing, Mr. Adler from 2B stands in pajama pants and slippers, patting his pockets with increasing panic. "Oh, Mara," he says, blinking like he's woken mid-thought. "I can't find my keys. I was going to get milk for my coffee, and now I don't remember." Mara's heart sinks, 3rd time this week. "You're not dressed," she says gently. "Come on, let's get you back inside." Mr. Adler looks down at himself, startled, as if clothing is a brand new concept. Before Mara can guide him, the stranger steps forward and takes Mr. Adler's other arm, careful, steady, not startling the older man. "Miss Sister." Adler relaxes immediately, trusting the support without question. The stranger's gaze flicks across the hall, then to Mara. His nostrils flare, subtle, strange, he murmurs, so quiet only she hears. "What's strange?" she whispers back, confused. He hesitates, eyes narrowing like he's listening to something under the building. "The air," he says, then shakes his head like he doesn't trust his own senses. Never mind. Mara leads Mr. Adler inside his apartment, settles him on his couch, finds his keys on the kitchen counter where they always are, and returns to the hallway with that familiar ache behind her ribs. This building is full of people holding their lives together with duct tape and denial. She unlocks her own door, and the reality hits. She just brought a stranger home. Her place is small but clean, living room doubling as workspace, tiny kitchen, bedroom barely big enough for a twin bed. It feels even smaller now with him in the doorway, rain dripping from his sleeves onto her floor. Her mind supplies every cautionary headline she's ever read. He seems to sense the shift. He doesn't step further in. He keeps his hands visible, open at his sides. Not defensive, not aggressive, just giving her space. "I can go," he says quietly. The fact that he offers the exit, without bargaining, without pushing, makes guilt flood her chest. "No," she says, firmer than she feels. "You're hurt. And the storm's getting worse." She opens the door wider and gestures him in. "First," she says, forcing her brain into task mode, "you need to clean up. I'm not bandaging you while you're soaked and dirty. That's begging for infection." She disappears into her bedroom and returns with an armful of men's clothes. Jeans, a sweater, clean socks, an old hoodie. "These belong to my ex," she explains, voice clipped. "He left them when he moved in with our coworker. His loss." The man takes them with a nod that looks almost formal. "Thank you," Bathroom's there, Mara says, pointing. Shampoo, soap, towels. I have a new razor if you want it. He hesitates a fraction, then goes. When the shower starts, Mara stands frozen in her kitchen, listening to running water, heart doing strange things. She should call Hartman and Lowe, reschedule her interview, salvage something. She calls. The receptionist's voice is sugar-coated ice. We filled the slot. Click. Mara stares at her phone, then drops it onto the counter like it's suddenly too heavy. There goes the job that was supposed to save her. 20 minutes later, the bathroom door opens. Mara turns and loses a full second of thought. Cleaned up, he's devastating. The grime and wet hair had hidden it, but now, freshly shaved, hair damp and pushed back, sharp cheekbones, mouth set in a controlled line, a faint scar along one eyebrow. He looks like someone carved for money and power, not pavement. Like a man who should be wearing a coat that costs more than her rent, not her ex's hoodie. Mara realizes she's staring. Heat climbs up her neck. Right. Okay. Sit. He obeys, settling onto her couch with that same controlled posture, like he refuses to slouch even when bleeding. She kneels and lifts the hem of his borrowed sweater. The wound is worse than she expected. A deep puncture near his ribs, bruising blooming around it in ugly colors. It looks clean, like a knife went in straight. This is a stab wound, Mara says, trying to keep her voice steady as she dabs antiseptic onto gauze. When did this happen? A few hours ago, he replies, voice tight, but controlled. Over what? His gaze flicks toward the rain-streaked window. A place to wait, he says. Men don't like sharing territory when territory is all they have. Mara's stomach turns. They stabbed you over a piece of alley. He watches her for a long beat. People do worse for less. She cleans, applies ointment, wraps gauze tight. He flinches once when her fingers press too close, jaw clenching hard enough to show restraint. You should go to a doctor, she says again. This will do, he replies simply. Thunder rolls. The lights flicker. The building groans like it's exhaling. Stay, Mara says before she can stop herself. At least until the storm passes. He studies her, amber eyes unreadable. Then he nods. Just until the storm passes. That night, Mara lies awake in her bed, listening to the storm punch the windows. Every creak of the building sounds louder. Every shift of the couch in the living room is a reminder. Stranger, stranger, stranger. She must fall asleep at some point, because she dreams. In the dream, she walks into her living room and sees a massive wolf stretched along the couch. Dark fur, heavy body, head resting on the armrest like it owns the place. Even asleep, it feels protective, familiar in a way that makes no sense. And in the dream, Mara isn't afraid. Morning comes gray and wet. Mara steps out to find him in the kitchen holding a mug. Coffee, he says, as if this is normal. She takes it, stunned. You didn't have to. I wanted to, he replies. She watches him in the daylight, his posture too refined, his gaze too sharp, and feels the question burning under her ribs. What do you remember? She asks carefully. He looks toward her bookshelf like it's a doorway. His fingers pause on a worn paperback. This, he says, tapping the spine. I don't know why, but it feels familiar. Mara leans closer. The Brothers K, something she bought from a thrift store years ago. You've read it? She asks. He frowns. I think so. I remember one character, passionate, broken, still trying to be good. Mara's heart tightens. Then that can be your name, she says impulsively. Until you remember, call yourself Cassian. He repeats it slowly. Cassian, a beat. It fits, he says, like he's accepting a temporary identity the way a soldier accepts a weapon. Mara smiles despite herself, until Cassian goes rigid. His head snaps up. His gaze fixes somewhere past her, beyond the walls. Do you smell that? He asks, urgency sharpening his voice. Mara inhales. Smell what? Not coffee. He stands, moving toward the hallway with sudden purpose. Something's wrong. Cassian, he bolts. Mara follows, barefoot on old carpet, heart slamming. Cassian is already halfway down the stairs, moving like he's forgotten he's injured. He reaches the ground floor and slams a shoulder into the locked door marked Boiler, Maintenance. It's locked, Mara calls down. You can't. The door cracks. Cassian disappears inside. Mara swears and rushes down, panic mixing with anger. I'm going to get evicted. The basement is cramped and dim, the air warmer, stale. Cassian stands near the boiler, eyes narrowed, breathing shallow. Back, he orders. What are you doing? She demands. His head turns, eyes fierce. Leave. Now. Mara freezes. Why? The air is wrong, he snaps. Heavy, bitter, like exhaust trapped in a box. He grabs her wrist and pulls her up the stairs. What kind of leak? She gasps. Something that kills quietly, he says, pushing the building's front door open and dragging her into the rain. Call emergency services. Now. They sprint to the cafe on the corner. Cassian leans over the counter. Phone, he says to the barista, voice clipped. Emergency. 20 minutes later, Mara stands shaking under an awning, watching firefighters pour into her building. A chief steps out later, face grim. Faulty boiler, ventilation issue, carbon monoxide buildup. Mara's mouth goes dry. Mr. Adler's confusion, the headaches, the dizzy spells. We caught it early, the chief adds. You might have saved lives. Mara turns to Cassian. He's staring at the building like it's a predator he smelled before anyone saw it. Her landlord, Kerr, arrives red-faced and furious. What is this? Who broke my door? Mara starts to speak, but Cassian steps forward. His voice drops into something cold and precise. You knew, he says. Kerr blinks. Excuse me? You knew something was wrong, Cassian continues, each word clipped like a verdict. And you did nothing. People were breathing poison. Kerr's bravado cracks, just slightly. Now see here. 3 months free rent doesn't fix criminal negligence, Cassian says, voice carrying. But it's a start, and if you try to retaliate, evictions, threats, then you'll learn how expensive consequences are. Mara's skin prickles. That tone doesn't belong to a man who slept on cardboard. Kerr swallows, suddenly smaller. Fine, fine. 3 months. Everyone, just stop making this a spectacle. Cassian's jaw tightens like he's not done, but Mara touches his arm. Please, she murmurs. This helps people right now. He looks at her hand, then at her face, and something in him eases. Barely. Later, back upstairs, Mara rebandages his wound and freezes. The puncture is gone. Not healing. Gone. Smooth skin. No scar. Mara's throat goes tight. That's not possible. Cassian stares at his own torso like he's seeing it for the first time. I don't understand. Mara's mind scrambles for science. Adrenaline. Misjudged depth. A dream. But she remembers the blood. She remembers the sting of antiseptic. She remembers him flinching. Cassian pulls his sweater down, stands abruptly like he needs distance from the moment. I should go, he says, voice low. Mara's chest tightens with a strange, irrational protest. Go? I'm better, he says, not meeting her eyes. You've been kind. I shouldn't take more. She forces a smile that doesn't reach her throat. Let me pack you food. When she returns, he's folding his old, ruined clothes with almost ceremonial neatness. Keep the borrowed stuff, she says. It suits you better. He takes the bag. His fingers brush hers. Thank you, he says quietly, for everything. I don't know how to repay you. Mara shakes her head. It was nothing. Cassian's gaze sharpens. It wasn't. The words come out fierce like he hates the idea of her shrinking her own kindness. You helped me when you had every reason not to. His face tightens. I don't remember who I was, but I don't think I was good. Then he leaves. And Mara stands in her doorway listening to his footsteps fade, staring at the empty couch like it's an accusation, because the storm might be passing, but something else just started. 2 days. That's all it takes for Mara Quinn to start measuring time in the shape of an absence. She goes to interviews that blur together, smiling too hard, apologizing for things that aren't her fault, pretending she's excited to join the team while her chest feels hollow. She comes home to her quiet apartment and catches herself looking toward the couch like she expects to see a tall man with amber eyes making coffee like he belongs there. She tells herself it's ridiculous. She knew him less than 48 hours. Then the weather turns violent again. Not just rain, wind that shoves cars, hail that drums against windows, the kind of storm that makes the whole city feel fragile. Mara watches news alerts, checks radar, paces until her nerves burn, and all she can think is, he's out there, somewhere in the city, alone, in this. At 10:07 p.m., she stops pretending she can ignore it. She throws on her heaviest coat, grabs an umbrella that flips inside out the second she steps into the wind, and fights her way down the street like she's pushing through a living thing. Water runs through gutters like rivers. Sirens cut the night. Streetlights wobble. She reaches the alley where she found him, empty, just trash blown in by the wind and the ghost of that moment. Mara's throat tightens. Then she spots a dark shape huddled in a narrow alcove between buildings, half hidden behind a dumpster, like the storm is trying to swallow him. Cassian! She calls, voice ripped thin by the wind. Cassian! His head lifts. Even through rain, she sees the surprise sharpen across his features, then soften into something that looks dangerously close to relief. "Mara," he says, as if he'd been keeping her name warm in his mouth. "You're still here," she manages, shivering, water soaking through everything. A small, almost smile tugs at the corner of his mouth. "Just in case." The words hit her harder than the wind. In case she came back. "Come with me," Mara says, breathless. "Please. You can't stay out here." He watches her, eyes flicking over her face like he's reading something beneath her words. "Mara," he says carefully, what if I need someone with a ridiculous sense of smell to save the building again?" She cuts in, forcing a shaky grin. "What if Mr. Adler tries to make coffee at 3 a.m., and you're the only one who can stop him from wandering outside barefoot?" For a second, Cassian looks like he might laugh. A gust sends debris skittering past them. Mara flinches. Cassian's hand comes up instantly, steadying her by the arm. Firm, protective, too practiced for a man who claims he remembers nothing. "The storm's getting worse," she says, voice lower. "I can't sleep knowing you're out here." He stares at her for a long beat, rain running down his face. "You don't even know me," he says softly. "That's not true," she replies, and the words feel heavier than they should. You're my friend." The silence between them tightens. Charged. Finally, Cassian nods. "Just until the storm passes," he repeats, like the phrase is a promise he's afraid to break. Back in her apartment, they stand dripping in the entryway. Mara finds towels, shoves them into his hands, tries not to notice the way wet fabric clings to his shoulders. She offers clean clothes again, her ex's leftovers, then retreats to her bedroom like the air has become too intimate to breathe. Sleep doesn't come, not with him on the other side of the wall. The building creaks. Wind rattles glass. Her mind replays his hand on her arm, the way he said her name like it mattered. After an hour, she gives up and cracks her bedroom door. Moonlight washes the living room blue. Cassian sits on the edge of the couch, elbows on his knees, staring out the window as if he's guarding something no one else can see. "You can't sleep either," Mara whispers. He turns. In the dim, his eyes catch light and glow. Golden, unreal. "No," he says. Mara steps into the room, suddenly aware of her thin nightshirt and bare legs. "I thought maybe tea." Cassian's gaze flicks over her. Not crude, not hungry, just intensely present. "Tea," he repeats, voice rougher. She moves to the kettle with shaking hands. "Chamomile. It helps." "Help," he echoes, and there's something darkly amused in the word. Mara turns, and he's closer than she expected. Footsteps quiet, controlled. She backs up without thinking until the counter presses her lower back. Cassian stops just short of touching her, like he's holding himself on a leash. "Mara," he murmurs, and her name sounds different in his mouth now. Lower, warmer. Her pulse jumps hard enough to make her dizzy. He lifts a hand, hovering near her cheek, hesitating like he's asking permission without words. Mara doesn't speak. She can't. His fingertips brush her skin, feather-light, and the touch sends heat through her like a match. "You've been kind," he says, voice tight, as if the sentence hurts. Mara swallows. "So have you." Cassian's jaw flexes. "I don't think I used to be." She should step away. She should make tea. She should be responsible. But she doesn't move. His hand slides to the side of her neck, thumb resting where her pulse is wild. The contact is gentle, and still it feels like a claim. Mara's breath shudders. Cassian leans closer, forehead nearly touching hers, as if he's trying to memorize her scent, her warmth, her existence. "If I'm dangerous," he whispers, "tell me to stop." Mara's hands lift to his chest, meant to push him away. They don't. Her fingers curl into the fabric instead, holding on like she's afraid he'll vanish again. "I didn't come looking for you so you could leave," she admits, voice breaking on the truth. Cassian's eyes flicker, something raw moving behind them. Then he kisses her. It isn't polished or practiced. It's not a performance. It's hungry, careful, and almost desperate, like a man who doesn't trust the world not to steal what's in front of him. Mara gasps into it, heart slamming, and for one dizzying moment, the storm outside feels far away. When they finally pull back, their foreheads rest together. Mara's hands are still on his chest. Cassian's are still framing her face like he's afraid to let go. "This changes things," Mara whispers. Cassian's voice is rough. Everything already changed. Morning comes too quickly. The storm is gone, leaving the world washed clean and quiet. Mara wakes to the soft clink of dishes and the smell of coffee. Cassian stands barefoot in the kitchen, hair tousled, wearing her ex's sweatpants like he's been doing this his whole life. He hands her a mug like it's an offering. Mara takes it with shaking fingers and realizes her body is buzzing with a nervous joy she hasn't felt in years. "You could stay," she says, half joking, half not. The forecast mentioned aftershocks. Cassian's mouth twitches. Aftershocks, he repeats, eyes brightening with something dangerous and warm. Mara blushes and hides it in her mug. Days slip into a rhythm that feels impossible. Cassian fixes things, not just patches, repairs, cabinet hinges, a leaking faucet, the hallway light that's flickered for months. He organizes the building's maintenance list like he's running a company, and somehow people start listening to him. Even the landlord backs off, wary now. Mara watches him talk to neighbors with calm authority and feels a question rise. Who was he before the alley? Then, one afternoon at their usual coffee shop, Mara returns from the restroom and finds a woman leaning toward Cassian, laughing too brightly, touching his arm like she's testing boundaries. Jealousy hits Mara so hard it stops her in place. It makes no sense. Their situation isn't defined. He's still Cassian, still missing pieces, still a mystery living on her couch. And yet Mara's chest goes tight with the brutal clarity of a truth she didn't see coming. She doesn't want him to be temporary. She wants him to be hers. On the walk home, Cassian studies her with that impossible focus. "You've been somewhere else," he says. "Since the cafe." "I'm fine," Mara lies. Cassian's nostrils flare slightly, like he's reading the lie in the air. He nods anyway. "I'll cook tonight," he says. "Let me take care of you." Mara's heart twists. "You don't have to." "I want to," he replies, and cups her face like the world is too loud, and he's trying to quiet it. He leaves an hour later to pick up groceries. Mara stands in her hallway, smiling to herself like an idiot, until a harsh voice slices through the air. "You should be ashamed." Mara turns. A well-dressed man in an expensive coat strides toward her, face twisted with disgust. Money clings to him like cologne. "Excuse me?" Mara says, thrown. "Being with that man," he snaps, voice loud enough to draw attention. "Do you just ignore what he's done because he plays house in your little apartment?" Mara's stomach drops. "I don't know what you're talking about." The man laughs, sharp and bitter. "Oh, you don't? Gideon Vale, that's who he is. CEO of Vale Dominion. The man who gutted my company, sold it in pieces, and called it efficiency. Hundreds of people lost their jobs because of him." Mara's mouth goes dry. "No, that's impossible." "Is it?" The man sneers. "The Amnesia Act is cute, or convenient. Either way, you're naive if you think he's harmless." Mara hears herself whisper, "You have the wrong person." The man's anger fades into something like pity. "Kid, look it up. Then decide if you want to be collateral." He walks away, leaving Mara standing in the hallway with her skin cold and her mind screaming. That night, she sits in the library surrounded by magazines and archived articles. And there he is, Cassian's face, clean, sharp, ruthless, on glossy covers, billionaire, predator, corporate shark, the same amber eyes staring out above headlines that make Mara's stomach twist. She buys the magazine with shaking hands. She goes home. Cassian is in her kitchen stirring a pot like he belongs there. Mara throws the magazine at his chest. It falls open on the floor, his face looking up at both of them like a ghost. Cassian stares down, and Mara watches recognition flicker, fast, lethal, across his features. "Have you been lying to me?" she asks, voice breaking. "No," he says instantly. "Mara, that's you," she whispers. "That name. That company, that money, all of it." Cassian's jaw tightens. "I don't remember." "But you just did," Mara snaps, tears burning. "I saw it on your face." Cassian steps toward her. "Mara, leave," she says, voice shaking. "Go back to your world." His eyes flash, literally flash, gold catching light like metal. "You want me to leave," he repeats, voice dropping into something that sounds nothing like the man who made coffee. Mara can't speak. If she speaks, she'll crumble. Cassian's shoulders tense like he might fight it. Then pain slams into him. He doubles over, one hand clutching his chest, breath turning ragged. A sound tears from him, half gasp, half growl. His bones crack. His body shudders like something inside him is trying to tear free. Mara stumbles back, horror freezing her blood. "Cassian, what's happening?" He doesn't answer. Fur ripples across his skin like darkness spreading. Clothes tear. His spine curves, lengthens. The room fills with the sound of shifting bone and a low, vibrating growl that makes the air feel thick. Where Cassian stands, a massive wolf stands instead. Dark fur, amber eyes. Those same eyes. Mara screams, the sound ripping out of her before she can stop it. The wolf flinches like her fear physically hurts him. For one heartbreaking second, it looks at her, lost, pained, familiar. Then it turns and launches through her window, glass exploding into the night. Mara stands in her ruined apartment, breath heaving, hands shaking, staring at the shattered opening, and the only thought that cuts through the shock is this: he's alone out there, and she sent him away. She grabs her coat and runs. Half a block from the alley, Hand sees her from behind. A hand clamps over her mouth. She thrashes, bites, kicks. But there are multiple men, and they move with predatory coordination. In the shadows, a familiar, well-dressed man steps forward, the one who warned her. He takes a wad of cash from someone and nods once. "Don't worry," he says as the world tilts. "They won't hurt you. You're just bait." A cloth presses to her face. Chemical stench floods her lungs. The streetlights smear. And the last thing Mara hears before darkness takes her is a voice murmuring, "Now we wait for Vale to come running."